And we are live. Welcome, everybody.
Yo.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get the Twitch up because I realise we never have been neglecting the chat in our past few games.
Yes, we have. We are sorry about that, but role playing is heavy work. It's really hard to pay attention to the chat at the same time.
It is, yeah.
You gotta pay attention to me. It's fine. It's okay.
No, it's not like he's important.
Okay.
And this is the day that Wheeler dies.
I'm not that
Bye.
big.
How many characters is that now, Grant?
Fucking 3.
So, welcome back, everybody. Sadly, we have one player down. Beloved player who plays Gemini is not feeling well today, so he can't make it. So we're wishing him all the best and hope he heals up quickly so that he can rejoin us because the game is not the same without the amazing Gemini.
Illustrious Gemini.
Exactly.
It's the best Gemini.
Yeah. So, but we do have other player is back. So,
Wonder was that? Is that you, Grant? Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You back in?
Yeah. I know you missed me last week.
Yeah. Well, we always mentally miss you.
Yes, you're not the only ones.
So,
some people wish they missed me.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. I tried to steer your character as minimal as possible. So I hope you rewatched everything I did for your character.
Yeah.
I hope you're okay with it.
What's it today? Everything seemed to be fine so far. There was a few changes I would have done, but it would have been like conversations between Gemini and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, everything was okay.
It was kind of he was forcing me to act as you. But,
Wouldn't leave you alone.
Yeah, I'll make him pay. Because now I get to steer Gemini.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
money for
we
you,
can have
money for you. Yes.
we can have that conversation today, then, Kelly.
No. Let's. Well, I hope everybody is that's watching this is fine and that your loved ones are okay and stuff. Please stay safe, of course. Yeah. And if anybody has anything to say, but I don't think so, raise your hand now. If not, then we can just dive into our game. And I think we left off where your group was traveling north. We took a little time skip there of about 2 weeks, and you guys were arriving in more and more cold climate.
Yes.
So walking through it, freezing, your clothes weren't up to par on dealing with this. So the prestidigitation spell was multiple casts and frequently used to just keep a little bit of warmth on you.
Did keep the frostbite away.
Exactly. And as you guys were kind of arguing amongst each other, this dwarf standing on a small hill was kind of calling out to you guys, like, hey, keep it quiet, I'm trying to hunt over here. And you guys got into a conversation.
Yes.
He invited you back to his home.
Yes.
This dwarf was called Otgrin, and he took you back to his cabin and fed you, gave you some of the drink, and offered you to spend the night in his house.
Yes.
And even offered to make some clothing suitable for this temperature for you guys. He appeared to be a hunter, a pelt maker, and he says he wasn't really accustomed to making fancy clothing, and he just made it for himself. So, but he was willing to use some of his furs to make you guys something to keep warm. I believe you agreed to it. Gemini and Al were a bit, well, at least Gemini especially was a bit like, let's
No, I
Let's
don't know what
keep
you mean.
distance.
Cal was very like that too. She was, yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. As an elf, you always have a very big likings to dwarves. So no, but you guys went to bed and got some rest. Um,
Yay.
is somebody keeping watch? Is somebody staying up, or are you all just sleeping? It's nice. It's getting nicer and nicer temperature inside the house, so you're all quite comfortable. What do you do?
I think Wheeler would
Um,
just go to bed.
Yeah, I don't think Tarak would do anything like before going to bed, but he will wake up at the crack of dawn very early. Like he'll have some stuff he wishes like he's already been like elbow smashing those firewood
Yeah.
blocks into halves. And I was just thinking that like before anybody else kind of wakes up or while the house is still sleeping, he would like go outside and just like break big logs and just like train in a kind of solitary kind of way. Just
All right.
Cal will be up
just
before
judo
that.
chopping logs and trying to again use mage hand to maybe lift a log on the stump and just do more.
I'd forgotten to say, like in the 2 weeks where Wheeler was like trying to teach Tarach how to do mage hand, had he made any progress by the end?
Roll your charisma, Tark.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
you just reminded me that I don't have my dice out. So let me get them.
There you
Just
go.
charisma,
You're
right?
welcome. Yeah,
Just charisma.
Brains, I'll roll for you.
Yeah, no, it's right. Got them. Got my good ones anyway.
But
That-
I should be rolling. This is the 220, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you roll, Jonas?
6.
6. Minimal progress. There are days where you go like, oh, I think he's getting it, and then you go like, he lost it again. That's just
Yeah.
But there was progress.
Yeah,
was, yeah,
like
yeah.
like not knowing why I had it when I did have it.
exactly.
That's right. That's enough for Wheeler to carry on training them.
Could Cal and Gemini actually do something similar? He doesn't need to really be here for it, does he?
Oh, was Gemini
For the
not
2 weeks,
asking-
he asked to do the sword training.
Yeah.
So Cal probably would have taught him
Okay.
in exchange for what he knew on the bow, but he would obviously just train him the basics because he needs to learn from the ground up.
Sure. Yeah.
This is the
that's
pointy
fine. And
end.
If that's
This goes
if you're
towards the
okay with
enemy.
that, you guys already spent 2 weeks on that.
Mhm.
However, there is a thing of you are able to hand over the bow to Gemini. That's fine. That's no problem whatsoever. Gemini will most likely to get a better feel of the bow and to be more insightful of it. Probably have to attune to it to get a better feeling of it. He can't.
He can't attend to it.
He can't attune to it, and you notice that I mentioned this before, but we didn't give a lot of credit or heeding to it after that. You still feel a certain amount of pain.
Even after he had attend to it?
He can't attune to it.
Right. So I can sort of like attune to it, but I don't know what it does. But I can still feel the sort of pain coming from the bow.
Exactly. It feels like now that you are attuned to this bow, it's stuck to you.
Right.
And looking back on the 2 weeks or so that you've traveled now, carrying this bow, having Gemini examine it, trying to attune to it to see if he could. You and Gemini will both have clearly noticed that you cannot unattune it, and nobody else is able to attune to it. You, and I don't know if you share this with anybody, you will have noticed that pain and discomfort that you're feeling is increasing ever so slightly every day. And you have no ill effect of it as of yet. And seeing as how much it increased in these last 2 weeks, you'll think it'll be a while before the pain actually starts to hinder you in doing things.
Mhm.
But you as an elf are aware of the fact that it's increasing.
Well, he'll probably play that off for a bit until it becomes a real problem.
All right.
But it's no problem for him to use his original bow. It doesn't make
No.
any difference.
No, you can find as I mentioned in the last game, you probably picked it up. You were able to fix it and get a new string on it, so you're fine with using your own bow. You just carry this new bow around as well.
Yeah, and you're not getting my crossbow.
Doesn't need it.
It's mine.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Tara, do you take the full 8 hours rest, or do you not?
Well, I'm at full hit points, so.
Yeah, but you were exhausted, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's.
Oh
right.
no,
That's,
sorry, no. That was before we took the 2 weeks
Yeah.
jump ahead. So
That's right. Okay. Yeah. I think in my it depends. I just know that he would wake up before everybody else, basically as at the crack of dawn. But
Not
it
to
depends
split
on
hairs
what
about
time
it.
we go to bed.
Yeah, not to split hairs about it. Let's just say you take the 8 hours of rest, and it might be a little shorter, but it still counts as a long rest for you. So, Cal, you are already up because you only meditate for a certain amount of time. As you do, as you awake, Cal, roll your perception.
Perception. That is a 22.
22. As you awaken from your trance and you see everybody else is still asleep, there is a slight sound coming from below on the ground floor. That isn't what catches your vision. What you notice is that there is a slight reddish glow around Gemini. And just as you go like, what is that? You look at him and you see him just disappear.
Right.
Panic.
At the disco.
Yeah.
Right. Now, this is probably the first time him actually seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
So whether him putting the pieces together as maybe been pulled into the gem again, but he's not gonna make it apparent at the moment. He's gonna wait till everybody sort of wakes up from their full sleep, and then he will consult Ellie.
All right. Well, the first one to awake is Tara.
Maybe Tarek then. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, Tarek might want to know where Gemini is.
Yeah.
So
one of the
thought
first
that might
things you
be-
notice, Tarek, as you
Yeah.
kind of wake up, you go like, where is Gemini?
Okay. If I see Cal already awake and in the same kind of location there, I'll just kind of lock eyes with him and just look at him with a questioning kind of look on my face, just to see if he's expecting to tell me something before I even ask him.
Eric, you want to take this out in the corridor so we don't wake anyone? and he sort of danders out the bedroom or where everybody's in, and if Tarek follows him out, he'll be like, I think you remember the thing that took us before. It may have claimed him for a time period.
What, Gemini?
Yeah, the thing that pulled us into the corridor.
Did you see it?
It was like a red glow, and then he just sort of like vanished. Now, I've been thinking on it for a couple of hours, and I think there isn't any other real explanation other than the curse.
But you saw him. You saw him and you saw him disappear.
Yeah, just like, say like teleportation or invisibility, but he wasn't there because I checked.
You're sure there isn't anybody else in here?
Well, I was keeping an eye on us, and I didn't see any disturbance. So I would say there wasn't anybody here now.
Well, can you make sure? I have no idea how that stuff works.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Not the most adept in magic myself, but I can have another look around if you want.
Well, at the very least, that's what I'm going to do. But should we wake up everyone else? I'm sure Ellie would have an educated opinion about this.
She would, but you're up a bit early, and Ellie will still be sort of asleep. It's up to you. It's your call. You could just pop out in about, what was it, like 6 or 8 hours for us, or something
I'm
worse.
not taking a chance with that. And then I turn around and I start to basically already go to Ellie in a straight line.
But Ellie's sleeping. She's very cozy.
Ellie and Wheeler, you probably wake up unless you have a really good reason not to, because you hear like a booming voice from the hallway, like, I'm not ready for that. And you just hear go, boom, boom, heavy footsteps coming in. At least Fluffles is like,
No, stay down. You're sleeping. Too
You
early.
ever seen like the Big Bang Theory whenever Sheldon gets startled and he's like, danger, danger.
yeah.
That's what Wheeler does. Goes crossroads, like, danger, what's going on?
Ellie's just like, no, that's Tarek's voice. It's fine. Just go back to bed.
No, I'm
kind of explodes into the hallway into your room.
Yeah, I'm basically gonna come to her and grab her by her shoulders and just shake her awake. I'm like, get up, Gemini's gone.
And Wheeler's like, oh no.
She's looking at Tarak. Come, he does that.
No, it's damn it, Cal. Explain it to her.
Right, Ellie, I think the curse is gone.
That's
Wheeler
what he
will sort of
thinks.
sit up at that point.
There was sort of like a red glow, and then he vanished. Now, I did see Gemini use his invisibility before, so I checked to see if he was still in bed or if anything in the room had moved, because he has to move things to get out of the room. Apparently not.
Okay. Okay. Did you check the gem?
The gem, right.
Yes, did you look in the gem?
Wheeler will be like, yeah, who has the gem?
I have the gem, actually.
Yeah, check.
He'll
check
go
the gem.
over to his backpack and ruffle out a blanket, and he'll unfurl it, then look at the demon inside.
It's not safe, brother.
You look at it and roll your perception again.
Okay. It's the same again. 25 or 20.
Wow.
22. Sorry, 22.
You look at it and examine it, and you see the demon, and where the demon is really in the core of this gem, you see now all of a sudden a different what you first observe as a blemish in the ruby, but you now see that it's Gemini.
So I sort of like turn it round to where he is and see him. And I
Yeah.
go, "Hey Ellie, look,
Yeah.
he's there.
Hmm?
We were right. It's inside of the
Grab it.
gem."
Look at it. Rub her eyes.
Yeah. You squint at it. Roll your perception.
Um, 17, right? Yeah, 17.
You look at it. It kind of reminds you of Gemini, but it is licking her.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the smudge? No, it's still there.
Light. I need some light for this. And should we just bring it over to the fire?
Sure. Yeah.
And use
Not
the
too
light.
close to the fire now.
No, not too close. She's not gonna drop it in it, but just use the light
Sure.
from the fire to be able to see better because morning eyes.
Yeah. You have a hard time focusing on it. It's really minute, but it looks colorful.
Colorful in the gem that was previously just yeah. I think he's in there too. I guess he's gonna have to like find his way out. I mean, no, that would be a bad idea. Take it the bad idea away. He's gonna give it to Cal.
Williers going to chime out and be like, hold on, we might be able to reason with it. I think, given our last encounter, I think I know how to communicate with this demon, and he'll quickly cast comprehend languages. Wheeler is a smart duck. He knows last time that taking the piss out of it got him, all of us sucked into that thing. So he's going to quickly cast comprehend languages, and then he's going to be like, right, and he's like, look like he's getting ready for a verbal tussle, and then he starts bowing towards the thing. He's like, "Oh, great and powerful demon, I prostrate myself before you. Would it be possible that you could maybe, if it's not too much trouble, just that you could maybe let our friend go? Only if it's okay." And then he'll like turn to Ellie like,
Ellie is looking at Wheeler like he's insane.
it's a possibility.
Cal sort of lifts the gem into the air a little bit, not
As
knowing
you,
what's going on.
Cal, you will hear inside your head. You will hear. Oh, it appears that your little halfling friend has learned a more proper way of communicating.
See, me and him, we're going to be biffles.
So it's only Cal that hears that, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheeler will keep like curtsying and stuff with the thing, waiting for an answer.
Right. So, are you going to let our friend go?
In due time.
What did you hear it? You talking to it? What's going on? Wheeler as he's still
This
curtsying.
place gets lonely. I might now and then collect some of you to keep me company and entertained.
hold that thought. I've got an interesting thought, guys. Wheeler, hold the gem.
He'll be like, of course, and sort of
And
prostrate himself
as he hands it over to him, he says, "You tell that to him so that he knows."
You hand over the gem, and as soon as you kind of touch it, Wheeler, you hear a voice inside your head. Such a good boy.
Well, you know me. Could you let him go, please?
I will.
Quick,
Turn.
Soon.
Another quick thought, just so everybody knows. He takes the gem out of Wheeler's hands again, and he places it on the floor, and he goes, so when are you letting him out then?
Are you touching the gem or not?
Nope, nobody's touching the gem.
No response.
That's what I thought. He can only talk to anyone who's touching the gem.
Yeah.
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 When Cal says that, Tarak, being the bodyguard of Gemini, feeling completely helpless about the whole situation, and seeing the reactions, like when his companions are asking it something, they always like, could you please, and then reacting as if they've gotten a negative response. Tarak kind of just loses his composure, and he goes and snatches the ruby and just starts screaming a tirade at the demon.
Oh dear.
And I'm planning on making like an intimidation check, and trying to intimidate the demon.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry, I just came in chat there. Our dear Gemini is here in spirit. He just commented in the chat and says, just to be clear, Gemini is pissing up the inside of that gem. So
I got only a 9, but I'm using my inspiration point to get a score, and I only got only an 8, so 9 is the top I got. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is what I'm actually gonna say to him. I'm basically like, as I kind of lose my composure and I snatch it, I'll tell him, "You little son of a bitch, you listen here. You're one bitch slap away from oblivion, you hear?" And I'll just start to basically go on a tirade of you have no idea who you're dealing with. This here is Wheeler, the dealer, kiss stealer. And I'll go and I'll say, and this here is Ellie with the power to conjure both sweet and sour. That'll make you shriek and cower. And then I'll go to Cal and I say, this here is Cal, the type of brother that'll smother your mother and make your sister think you love her. And then I'll go in and say, and this here is that there is Gemini, who's the type of guy who'll stick his thumbs in your eye and make you scream and cry, and he'll whisper in your ear, size does matter, bitch, because when you look at me and you see these veins and they're bigger than your arms, and you see these arms and they're bigger than your legs, you'll recognize the situation you're in, and that we're more than happy to oblige on that bitch slap. And what you gonna do when he's gonna go on a big old wrestling tirade, and basically that's him learning his rhyming poetry.
Sorry, Wheeler, while this is going on, or like whenever he starts getting to the end of this tirade, Wheeler's going to go for it and just sort of like put a finger on the gem. She's like, I want to fucking hear the answer to this.
Yeah, he's basically just earning his one level of bard by basically just trash talking in rhymes.
Yeah. Sorry, Gemini also commented in there saying that Gemini currently takes notes. Holy shit. Sorry, my cat's just came up when he's brought in a rabbit. Up the fucking stairs. Sorry, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Oh, here. You're such a poor hunter. I brought you something here.
Well, in the meantime, Ellie is looking at Tarak. And she's basically looking at him like, why did he get the cool rhymes? Why did I get the sweet and sour? That's basically her look at the moment.
I was trying to rhyme something with power.
Yeah. I mean, as the player Ellie, I think it's hilarious, but she would be like slightly jealous because that's not even halfly as cool as the others. And also, I just realized I had put Tarak in Gemini spot instead of his own spot. So there we go.
You had a precognition moment there.
It's in the right spot now. I had to rearrange everything when we started, so everything was in the wrong spot. For some reason, it ended up in the wrong corner. I fixed it now, though, so it's now in the correct space. Sorry, audience, if you got that wrong. This is Tarak.
Or is it? So, as Tarak is just belittling this this ruby, and you hear as Odgrin kind of looks around the corner and goes, "Is everything all right here?"
Yeah.
Everything's fine. We're just having a little tiss.
I'm still going like another thing.
Looks at you and goes downstairs again.
Sorry for the noise.
Okay, so you tirade for how long, Tara?
I don't want to get another point of exhaustion. So I'll just cut it.
He's okay. I'm going to put him back outside.
That's a big rabbit.
And it's a cute rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Bloody cat.
Well, maybe I just wanted another friend.
So it just snatched it and it was like, fine? Or what?
I think I'd done it the last time, so that.
No.
So, sorry, how long did you berate the ruby?
I'll berate him for like maybe 5 minutes, but it's like 5 minutes of intense tirade.
All right.
Like just screaming with spit flying out of my mouth and like with big googly eyes and like going all manic like I'm coked up or something.
Should we call me?
Yeah. Do any of you do anything during these 5 minutes, or you just go down like that?
No, Ellie is looking at him kind of shocked. Not like, yeah. It's just like, what the fuck? Why didn't I get the cool rhyme? And what the fuck? When did that come out from? And what the fuck? Is he still going on?
Cal's going to be standing pretty close just to make sure he doesn't throw it or drop it or smash it or something.
Dunk it into the fire. Yeah. Okay, so 5 minutes pass. Now holding this ruby, and you're not sure if it's just your intensity, but you have the idea that the brightness of this ruby has dimmed a bit.
It's dimmed.
Yeah, I kind of checked out halfway. Like, yeah, whatever.
Someone turned the lights off.
So what do you guys do?
I'm just waiting if it answers anything.
It's quiet.
Right, I'm just going to take this. I think you sufficiently put him in his place.
I'll just drop it from my hands into his hands, and I'm like sweating on my brow, and I'll just kind of walk off, and I'll go to like if there's a like big log or something like there for me to smash. I'll smash it into bits, just like.
So you go outside, I'm assuming.
No, I'm not. I don't want to leave the room because if I hear any updates about Gemini's well-being in the situation.
There are plenty of crates and stuff, and there's big poles beams or.
Well, I don't want to break anything that like it's like a position that has a function. It's more like if there's like another bunch of firewood or anything like that for me to break.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's up here. There's next to the fireplace. There's firewood. So yeah, you could definitely smash some of that.
Yeah, and I'm basically just venting my frustration. It's one of those rare moments where I'm again losing my more closer to my half orc side than my monk side. to where I'm having trouble keeping my composure when I feel helpless.
Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah, you have the ruby again, Cal. Ellie
Cal sort of turns it around again to see if he can see where Gemini is.
still looks kind of in the same spot.
Right. I guess there isn't much else we can do, so maybe I'll just wrap this up and put
Yeah.
it back in the bag.
Put it safe.
And hopefully this doesn't happen more often, so hopefully we can get the Kellenvor clerics and get this sorted.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing else to do but wait.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think. Well, the demon said to break him out, we had to, like, destroy the gem, and it might release Gemini as well. But I'm pretty sure that will definitely release the demon. I don't know how to get Gemini out without the demon. And if it's anything like the time we got scooped up into it, then well, he'll have to find his own way out.
Wait. Do you guys know? Do you know what? How it fits into this whole gem idea? How we saw it when we faced it, because it mentions something about sacrifice being accepted or something of that nature, and it was drinking the blood of the elf. And
Yeah.
only after we defeated it, it went into this gem. Is there some like is it expecting like some sort of a sacrifice in order to escape it, only until it again gets defeated by somebody and it returns to it? Is that how it works?
Mm,
Can Ellie roll her Arcana for this because she's not sure?
This one, you could roll your Arcana, but the difficulty would be higher. It's more of a history thing.
Okay. Could I roll maybe my history?
Yeah.
24.
24. Wow. Listening to Tarak's question, and your brain starts to go into overdrive, and you're going, yeah, what why is that? And what's happening? And the fact that this drow that was there pretty clearly sacrificed its life to this demon is quite a big deal. Sacrificing your life to a demon is willingly it creates a strong magical connection or a strong magical bond. And you're pretty sure that this demon didn't come from a ruby as this elf summoned it, or this drow summoned it. You're quite sure that it went into the ruby once you defeated it. However, this demon stays on this planar until the reason why it was summoned has been fulfilled. And you're not 100% sure, but you're pretty sure that every time it comes back a lot stronger.
So we need to kill Gemini.
No, it needs to kill Gemini.
Potato, tomato.
what actually did it say when it was first summoned? Was it supposed to capture him or kill him?
We don't know. We did not hear that part. We just heard your gift has been accepted.
Sorry,
Right.
I may have missed a bit, but I really want to know what was the demon's answer to Tarak's
Nothing.
beautiful tirade.
It turned the lights off and left.
Yeah.
No, it had nothing to respond with. It
Good.
tapped out on the microphone.
Good.
I am rubber. You are glue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
No, Ellie is basically looking and thinking, and she's puzzling some things together, and she goes,
Yeah.
Um,
Just by the way, Ellie, because you rolled so extremely high,
yeah,
you have heard stories of old stories that your people told that these things happened before, and there are ways to send this demon back without having it fulfill its duty. But you're talking at high level situations, high magical level.
like the really powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Like her auntie's elven friend magical high
Yeah.
stuff, right? Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So look, I'm not an expert or anything, and not everything I know is like. I'm not sure how much of it is like based on knowledge and based on stories, but stories also hold a grain of truth. Uh, Even if not everything might be true, but I don't think that the demon came from the gem. I think it was summoned here, and it got summoned with a reason, and it can't leave until it's fulfilled the reason for the gift why it was summoned, because it's accepted the deal and it haven't fulfilled the deal. Demons are big on deals, right? Yeah. So I think that if it comes back, it will be harder to kill. Yeah, I think it will be harder to kill it. And unless it does what it's supposed to do, it won't go away completely. So I think right now what we need to do is make sure it doesn't get out of the gem. And
I don't know. Did you not hear what Tarak just said? I think we just let those two deal with it. I think Tarak's got this.
no, but like if you want the demon to go away completely and not be an issue, we need to like send it back to where it comes from. It doesn't matter if we kill it because it's not completely here, because it's still partly there, I think. Because otherwise we would be able to kill it, right? If it was all here.
Yeah. Tarak's got this. Did you not see him? He can word that thing into oblivion. Never mind Gemini, our new MC.
Well, I suppose, yeah, but you seen what it did when we berated it the last time.
That is true, and he'll sort of like bow to the gem again. Oh, great!
The gem is put away.
But it ain't that
Yeah.
smart. I think if we just keep playing it right, we'll be okay.
I don't know. Maybe if we're nice, it won't be too mean to us if it pulls us back in. I guess, but it's a demon. It's evil by nature. I don't think it plays by nice.
Yeah. Don't listen to anything it says.
Alignment?
What?
Did you just assume it's alignment?
Yes. She did.
Triggered. Hashtag.
Have you not listened to Auntie's stories about demons? They're bad.
Yeah, not exactly the brightest of creatures.
No,
Cal
they're
sort
mean
of put
and
it
they
back
make
in
deals.
his backpack, so he will.
And I think we should really make sure that it doesn't get out again, because I think it's gonna be even harder to kill it, and it's gonna be even more intent on getting Gemini.
Yeah, it definitely wants Gemini. Whether it wants to take him or kill him, both are bad things.
But I'm
Everybody
just
wants Gemini.
I'm just going out on a limb here, but I think that killing Gemini in the gem won't do the right thing for it, because if it does, it will have fulfilled it, but it will still be stuck in the gem and can't return. I think it needs to be free to return, because it said the gem was a prison and it can't escape the prison.
So
So
break the gem
no,
and let it kill Gemini.
no,
Oh, sorry, I thought that's where you were going with that.
no.
You need to be clear with these things.
We need to send it back through magic.
And the best place for that is the place we're going.
Yes, if they're powerful enough.
They will know more about it, from
Yeah,
what you
maybe.
say.
Because I
Maybe,
think that's
but-
like
but-
really a high magic that.
Are Kellamvor not all about like death and being dead? Is that the same as demons? Will they know?
No, they might
well,
know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, what did you know about this Varen character? What was he doing?
I don't know. Who's Varen?
He's the guy you're going to find.
Ah, you keep saying that, but
Yeah,
who
he's
is
been
he?
nice. Bit
All right.
quiet sometimes, but he's
Well-
nice.
Well, he was a paladin, yeah.
Yeah.
They're usually quite like
I think
valiant
he was.
warriors of gods of some sort.
I
Is that
think
right?
he was hunting evil.
Cal, you seem to speak quite highly of Varen. Why's that?
Well, I don't know much
Sure.
about these people. I'm not religious myself, but I don't know. He's made it out to appear that he hunted these things, these creatures that we're dealing with at the moment. Otherwise, why would we go into him?
Because he needs a friend.
Well, right.
Well, in that case, let's go. And Wheeler will saunter off singing, "You got a friend in me."
Meanwhile, in the background, Tarak's just judo chops have turned into outright elbow drops on the.
Sorry, is the dwarf?
firewood.
What was the dwarf's name? Sorry, I don't know.
Oddgren.
Oddgren. Oh yes, because he had a cousin called Normal Grin. I remember making that joke. Yeah, so Oddgren is downstairs, and I'm assuming. I mean, Tarok.
He
He
popped his
wasn't
head.
quiet.
He popped his head in when you were gone.
Oh, did he? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was like, he's just down there going, I'm not
And we
going up. I'm
said
not going to do
everything
that.
was fine, essentially. So he's been
Did he
up.
believe you?
Well, he went back down.
All right, Wheeler's going to go downstairs and see Oddgren.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's there loading his like musket.
Yeah, just like
You walk downstairs and you fall into a trap like the.
yeah, like a man trap there. Just
Yeah.
Which I suppose actually a man trap on me is probably like catches my waist. It's like, well, I guess I'll die.
So you go downstairs as first, Wheeler, and you arrive in what appears to be kind of the living room area, and you see this Osborne sitting there, and there's this massive pile of furs around him, and you see him working with what appears to be needle and thread, and there's the scissors there, and he's hard at work. As he kind of looks up as you walk down the stairs, and he looks. How do I put this? On normal people, on anybody except dwarves, you would say that he looks tired, but he looks fulfilled, and he's just like working hard.
I was going to say dwarfs don't trivial themselves with being tired when they're working.
Exactly.
That's right. He's going to
He looks
over
at you
to
and nods.
he's going to
Morning.
nod to him, and he'll be like, do you want me to fix you some food? I promise I won't go through your rations. I'll make small meals for me.
He looks at the amount of furs on one side, which is a lot smaller than the one on the right side. He looks and he kind of raises an eyebrow, and he says something. Do you speak Dwarvish?
Do I speak Dwarvish? That is. No, but I still have comprehend languages on.
There you go. Then you hear him say in a language you otherwise would not understand, but magically it is translated so that you do. You hear it kind of doesn't sound like a sentence which grammatically makes a lot of sense. So you think like it's like probably an old saying or something, and it comes down to give trust and receive trust. So he looks at you and then mumbles something in Dwarvish and says like, "Sure, I'd appreciate that. Thank you."
Not a problem. Coming right up. Would you like a drink while I'm at it? And he'll start busying himself in the kitchen.
No, he points at a mug. He says, "I'm good."
So he'll busy himself making.
Is everything all right? As you kind of walk into the kitchen, everything all right with your friends up there? Looks like. Huh?
So this guy, I mean, yeah, so far he's been carrying. Yeah, no, do you know what, Wheeler's going to sort of still carry on making the food and sort of stop whenever he asks him that and be like, no, but I think we have it under control so far.
Fair enough.
And he'll carry on.
Ellie will also come down. Cause breakfast?
You see the same. You see the same picture, except that now Wheeler is in the kitchen, and you see him constantly grabbing stuff, putting it back, grabbing about half of it, and goes like,
yeah. Yeah. Just like a full deer, just like, well, maybe, and then just taking like an antler. It's like, yeah, that'll probably do.
For flavoring the stock.
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
Oh yeah, and she doesn't have alter self up anymore. Yeah. So both hair is gone. She had a little bit growing out now because they've been traveling like 2 weeks. And it was a bit before that, so she probably has like about half an inch of hair by now. And it's partly golden. And she basically comes down and says, "Morning."
Morning.
Sorry about that. Tarek was yelling at our gem. It's fine.
All right.
While Wheeler's cooking and whenever Ellie comes down, he'll sort of he'll turn to sorry, I need to write shit down. Apologies. Odgrin. He'll turn to Ogren whenever Ellie comes down and be like, Ogren, Ellie's really good at like making things and tinkering. I don't know, she might be able to give you a hand. I know you're making that for us, so I don't know.
And as the second that you say this, Cal comes down the stairs, and Cal's eyes light up.
No, I'm not the one that's good with needle and thread. I'm good with tools.
It's a needle and thread or tools.
Skin is his work.
Seems.
I will point at Cal.
Odgrin, he looks down at the pelts and what he's working on at the moment. How much preparation has he done so far in so much a little a time?
He has, to your estimate, worked the entire night and is relatively close to, as you look at the piles, you think he's relatively close to finishing.
So he's working in like dwarf-like speed.
Yeah. I mean, you would have definitely done it differently. It's not pretty, but it's effective, and yeah, it's kind of similar to the clothing that he's wearing, with maybe just a little less eye for detail, but it looks padding about this thick on each of you, so it looks impressive.
He'll sort of like get a wee bit closer to Odgun and be like, if Odgun sort of looks up to him, you can sort of see that there's like an ounce of respect in his face for how much he's done within that amount of time. He's like, I don't even know if I could do that. But he turns and he goes, well, yeah, it's pretty impressive. It's not how I would have done it, but you know.
You see, kind of frown at you.
You're taking compliment lessons from Gemini, aren't you?
Well, elves and dwarves never really got together anyway, but Cal's not really high elf, so he does have a wee bit of disregard for dwarves, but it's not as much. So he turns to him and goes, do you want a bit of help finishing off with the last of that?
No, I'm fine. Go join your friend for breakfast.
Yeah, all right. I didn't mean that in a bad way, by the way. Your work seems pretty fine.
It's okay.
And they all sort of carry off.
Having this thick metal hook, which is super sharp, and he just pushes it through the cloth. And there's this strap of leather on the other end. He just pulls it through constantly, just sewing things together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, ah.
Wish I had that much leather to work with.
And it's in your craftsman eye, it's clear you can make out there's different piles for each of you, and you see your own pile, which you pretty much assume it's either yours or Gemini's. You see kind of line there. You like your hands itch not to kind of already grab it and start working on it yourself to make it better.
Does he have any sort of like leftover strips of raw hide?
Oh yeah, there's tons of it.
Big lengthy ones, which he could turn into spare bowstrings.
Yeah. Spare bowstrings. I thought those were more made out of intestines.
I was going to tell you about this in the last time. Sinew, yes, can be used. There's a few other things that they use for bowstrings, but they can use rawhide. I'm guessing with a special process or something. I've had to look all this up just to make sure. But he can like get a rawhide section and make it into like a bowstring by doing what you do with rope, basically.
Is it boiling it or something? I think
it's more like intertwining it, knotting it, and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Roll your. Are you proficient in perception?
Yes, I am a proficient.
Then you're actually rolling your because you are a leather worker, so you roll your perception. In this case, also with it with your proficiency skill.
Right.
But you're rolling it on perception. So roll perception because you already have proficiency at that. It's the same amount of numbers.
Yeah, that would be right, yeah. That is a 19.
19. This guy clearly knows what he's doing. You're kind of observing him, and he's been at this for a decent amount of time, and not just this project, but working with leather and stuff. So as you're kind of looking at the leftovers that he has, they're minimal. He's efficient in cutting out what he needs out of the hides and stuff. But you find enough that you would think that you could use to craft into a string. Yeah. Yeah,
right. Well, so when
you see it, but it's kind of like down at his legs. So you're like, excuse me, just let me grab this down there.
No, well, he's not going to be like all of his way. He's he respects the dwarfness for his craft. So he's as he was sort of walking past and spied it, he was like, "Do you mind if I take a few of those rawhide strips for spare bow strings?" And he just sort of shimmies into his pocket a wee bit and pulls out like a gold coin and goes, "I just need a few."
He looks at you and grabs what's down on his feet, and he kind of hands it to you. Be my guest.
Thank you. Had a little incident recently where it broke and I didn't have a spare one, so saved my life here. So he'll take a couple of them that look pretty good and take some with him and just sort of slice the gold coin to him and goes, "Hope that covers it."
No. He kind of slides the gold coin back at you and says, "It would have hardly any use. Those straps. You can just take it."
If Ellie sees that gold coin being slided, she's gonna be like waving Cal over to her instead.
Right. Well, now that you say that, actually, are they giving you compensation for the hides and stuff?
If Wheeler hears that, he'll chime out and be like, "I've got it covered. You're all right."
Ellie haven't yet, but she said she would look into it and see how much they could scavenge up, because she was thinking of giving him more than what he asked for the hides, but she wanted to like just check in with monies.
Right. Okay. Check in with Gemini then. All right. We'll get that sorted for you then.
The treasure.
Yeah. So she will wave Cal over.
So yeah.
Cal.
Yeah, Cal.
Food smells are coming from the kitchen at this point. As you kind of walk over towards the kitchen, Cal, he says, "Excuse me, is your friend okay up there? He's making some noise. You can still hear Tarak is kind of smashing timber into kindling."
Yeah, he's making you more firewood.
He's so we have a minor magical problem where we sometimes disappear, and the guy he's supposed to be bodyguarding disappears. So he's a bit frustrated, doesn't know what to do because he can't get him. But he will be fine. He'll come back. I'm pretty sure it's fine. We got it covered.
So, Rook, here, was that facial expression? Did the dwarf make that expression?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Just checking.
This crazy gnome just acting like this is normal. Like, what the fuck? Gnomes.
Tarak will at some point kind of recognize, like after just the first couple of smashes, it'll no longer be about maintaining composure. It's just that it's satisfying to vent your frustrations into smashing something. But after he recognizes that he's been alone in the room for a while and that it's kind of like going overboard, he'll kind of start to stop and think and like recall what he experienced, and he just expects that because he was the only one who didn't return unscathed, that he, like everybody else, had just gotten lucky or something, or that he went somehow deeper than others, or he missed some kind of a way out or something of that sort. So he starts to get kind of concerned that Gemini might actually be returning in a very rough condition. So instead of just venting his frustrations, he starts to kind of like pat on his belt and kind of run to his backpack, and he will kind of rummage through his healer's kit, and he's going to grab it with him and go to where everybody else is, and basically just kind of without making any kind of like noise about entering the room, he'll just kind of sit somewhere on a table and roll out his healer's kit and meticulously start making sure that he has everything he needs. Everything is like in place, and all that sort of thing, because he's expecting that any minute now Gemini is going to return in critical condition and he needs to be ready to help save his life.
So when Tara comes down and starts doing this, Alice can be like, look, he's fine. And then he starts sitting down and doing all the stuff. I think, yeah, he's fine. And then she's gonna walk over to Tarak and ask, Tarak, you're fine, right?
Yes, sure, I'm fine, brother. It's just, well, I don't know what to expect when he comes back. I don't really, I never asked in detail what you faced there. I'm expecting that it was all similar with everyone, but I don't know if it was completely the same. I can't help but think that whatever it is that I faced that mangled me up as bad as it did could be there waiting for Gemini. If not in that exact form, then in something else. It was so unreal what I saw there that just getting kind of concerned if he returns as a bloodied up hunk of meat.
Oh, I did not think that might happen to him. Well, but you were fine, ish. You became finer, more fine,
Sure,
right?
Sure.
But I mean,
So this is all happening in the kitchen, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Wheeler's, whenever they're talking, what's Odgrin's reaction to all this that's being talked about? Is he paying attention to it? Has he been like, fuck, got some demons in the house or something?
You had a relatively clear view of Adrian when you were the only one in the kitchen. Now, however, there are 3 other people in there as well, so you have a little harder time to keep an eye on him. But as you kind of look and you slightly move Ellie to the side, you get a view of him, and you see him just working hard, and it's impossible for him not to hear your conversation because the house is big and you're holding it relatively close to him. But he seems to either block it out or not pay attention to it, or well, he seems very focused on his work.
All right. What stage is the food at?
That's about 2/3 done.
Yep.
Right, I can't. I have to go and watch him. And then Cal goes back into the living room to watch him. He gets all antsy and he sits down and he watches him and he's like, shh. And then he just gets the strings out and starts.
yeah. No. Yeah. No. This is probably a good idea. I mean, he has some magic. He can probably help himself a bit. But
Wheeler, roll your insight.
Ooh.
Wheeler.
Oh, me? Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Did I stutter? Wheeler. Yeah.
Sorry. I heard roll insight. I missed the Wheeler part. Insight plus that's a 13.
13. You saw for some reason you saw his expression before. As you hear Ellie kind of talking about magic, there you see this slight twitch in Otgrin's face.
All right. How's the food going at this point? Nearly ready for serving?
Yeah, you're still in the process of making it, but it's getting there definitely.
Just whenever the food's ready and he starts like dishing out and stuff, he's going to position himself so that he's sitting near Odgrin. Once all the food's been passed out.
All right.
Let me know when we get to that stage.
I will.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Tarak will recognize the situation in the sense that there's an outsider who it might not have been a good idea to blurt out our experiences or anything. But he's so caught up in the kind of you know all of it because of what's going on with Gemini that he's kind of he doesn't he doesn't think outside of himself.
Hmm.
Ellie is basically going like, Aldrin seemed cool. We can trust him. Now we're trusting him. That's basically what she's doing.
Yeah, everybody's reaching the level you already reached days ago. Like, yeah, Ahmed, he's here. He's our man.
Yeah.
As soon as he showed up and said, "Shh," you're like, I trust that guy.
Yeah.
He has a hot water bottle. Sold.
I mean, unless you piss Ellie off, she thinks the best of you.
Yeah.
It's her default, so.
Ah, poor Wheeler.
Yeah. She knows he's a rascal.
As
It's a delight.
You, Cal, will notice that Ogrin is putting the finishing touches on everything, and Wheeler, your food is pretty much ready to be served.
That's funny. He starts dishing it out to everyone, and he gives a plate to Odgrin first, or sets it near him first, then dishes out everyone else, feeds himself last, and then sits next to Odgrin.
Okay, so Ogrin is in the living room, but so you go and sit there.
Yeah.
All right. You hand Cal his food as well.
Yeah. So he serves Odgrin first because he's the host. Everyone else just in whoever's nearby order first, and then himself
as soon
last.
as you hand him his bowl, he looks a bit surprised almost, and he looks like, "Thank you," and he kind of grabs it and immediately starts walking back into the kitchen.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Wheeler will feed himself last, so I would assume Ogren's probably back into the kitchen by the time he's actually getting a meal, and then he'll sit near him.
What do you do, Cal, when you get your bowl of food?
He sort of looks at it and goes. He sort of just sets it aside and starts finishing the bowstrings, and once he's done that, he'll eat it.
All right. And Tarak and Ellie, you already eat your bowls of food?
Yeah, Elle will start eating it when she gets it.
All right.
And
so, yeah,
but before she probably dug in, she would probably get some, coins. Start counting some coins to make sure that she can pay Odgrin.
Yeah. Wheeler and Ellie, both roll your insight.
It's much better. It's 18.
Insight. This is great. It's 10.
10. Okay. Ellie, you are not.
Yeah. Ellie is oblivious.
Yeah. Wheeler, you're kind of also looking at Odgrin, and you see him eating his food, but you can tell that his eyes are kind of on Cal, and all of a sudden you go like, wait a minute. And you kind of think back to for some reason there's like this food isn't no, that's not for some reason. Food is a big thing in your life. Maybe you haven't noticed it, but it is. And you have for some reason paid a lot of attention to food etiquette in different cultures. When your auntie kind of told you about these things. And there are some races that have different food etiquettes. And one of the food etiquettes that you always thought very unpractical is that of the dwarves, where food is consumed in a specific type of room, and that is where food is consumed, because that's the way it is. And seeing the look of Adrian, kind of looking at Cal, and especially also looking at the bowl of food, it's kind of standing there next to him. And you see his face kind of as Cal goes like, yeah, this is about done. And he kind of grabs his bowl, and you see the spoon going in. You see this. I'm exaggerating here, but you almost see this trickle of sweat running down Ogren's head. Like, what's going on? This is not right. This is not good.
So is Cal in a different part of the house? Is that
Cal is in the living room.
Still
yeah,
living in there.
Okay. Yeah. If Wheeler sees this, he'll sort of go into the kitchen. Don't eat in the living room, and he'll shout over to Cal.
What? What was
in here?
Well, why?
Polite. Come on.
Ellie
polite.
now looking up at the Cat Wheeler, like going over to Cal. Will she pick up on it?
With your empathy roll of insight roll, well, it is polite.
Yeah.
In Gnomish culture, it is also polite to eat either at a dinner table.
Yeah.
If there's no dinner table, you eat in the kitchen.
Yeah, he'd be like, she won't probably pick up on Algrim being upset about it, but it'd be like, yeah, no, he should join us.
Yeah.
Cal, come here.
Is this a halfling thing that I don't know about?
Sure. Yes, it is. Come on. We all eat together.
Right. Okay. I'm usually just used to eating outside.
Yeah,
so...
we're eating together. Come on.
But we're inside. And we have a table. We sit at the table and eat, right? I mean, I
Well,
guess a workbench would work if you're really in the middle.
Most of the time, I don't have a table, so you know.
But you know how to sit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You have.
He
You have
sits
one here.
down, but he does it odd with crossed legs.
Whenever Cal joins the table, he'll sort of like quietly, not like proper secretly, but sort of just as if he's just speaking to Odgrin. It was like, I'm sorry about him. He doesn't know.
That's fine. He kind of looks at all of you. Where's the friend that went to bed early?
Cal starts eating his food
Yeah.
a wee bit more intensely.
Wheeler will be like,
Is he still up in bed?
I kind of, and he'll, in fact, yeah, that's because he'll start like sort of pulling at his hair like that a bit and be like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to you about that. Look, you've been a really nice host to us, and you've been good enough to make us these leathers and stuff. So I thought we should be honest with you. Our friend,
he's starting to. You could tell that he's feeling uncomfortable. Like, where is this going?
Would Wheeler pick up on that?
Yeah, you've rolled a couple of times pretty high on your insight on him, so you apparently have a tick for reading dwarven expressions.
Can I put that on my character sheet?
Advantage on reading dwarves. Yeah,
I heard that was okay. So
no. You give him a pinky, they take your whole arm.
But yeah, if he picks up on this, he'll sort of no, it's okay. It's nothing too bad. But I think I noticed that you maybe had a bad experience with magic or something. Look, I don't want to pry at all. Your business is your business. But our friend with the half face has been hunted by some people. We managed to see them off. But they put a curse on him and all of us, and as such we can be sort of trapped in places. We'll come back, but we go through a bit of an ordeal while we're there. He was taken last night. We're convinced he'll return and he will be okay. But that is part of the reason why we want to go see these priests, is to get this fixed. And he'll sort of pull his I never said whether he took off his bandages or not, so I'm going to assume he's probably still got them there, but he'll sort of pull his bandage a bit and show his mark, and be like, they marked us with this. But it's no concern of yours. We'll be going today, and thank you for your hospitality, but I just thought we would be honest with what's going on.
Yeah, and it only affects us.
Yes, there's no danger to yourself.
I appreciate your honesty. Thank you.
It's like what I was trying to say when I came down, because Tarek was a bit upset because the guy, his bodyguard, disappeared. This is the thing how it works, kind of. We can't really do much about it, we think, from the outside. We kind of can if we're on the inside, but we're not really together when we're on the inside. It's a bit complicated.
Yeah, just to confuse him more, I'll just be like, yes, my sister here tends to gush her words. It can be quite confusing. And he won't explain the sister thing. He'll leave that. He'll leave that as a confusing.
She's already my brother.
Yeah, she's my sister. We're all brothers to him. Yeah. But Cal will go into his pocket and reach out a gold coin, and sort of set it near Oddgrim and just be like, "Look, this is for the furs and for your hospitality. Please accept it with our thanks."
Wheeler, I'm doing this.
It's fine. You can pay me back.
But
you will pay me
you're
back.
You're doing it wrong.
But yeah, he'll slide the gold coin for him.
But you were not even in the discussion. Oh my God.
He was.
Yeah, but then he also knows that 1 gold coin is not enough because 7 silvers per fur.
I was gonna say there.
Oh, was it 7 per fur? Sorry, I thought it was 7.
Yeah, that's why Ellie is going. It's you're doing this wrong.
You probably didn't give him just 1 gold coin. Here you go for your trouble, buddy, and a little extra.
Yeah. Sorry, no. He will pay him whatever is needed and give him a coin extra.
But it's not done during food, right? That's what she's on about as well.
Well,
business not done during the dinner table.
How let me think.
I was going to say there, can Cal get a good gist of how much it would cost for the whole thing?
Exactly, yeah.
If it was 7 silver, what's...
Yeah, but you
more
have
than one
no
hide
idea,
per...
Wheeler, on how much pelts went into your thing. You in your simple mind, you in your unproficiency in leatherworking would think like 1 pelt, 1 person, right? That's the way it goes.
Yeah. To be fair, that is what I thought. I thought it was like 7 per person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I tell you what. In that case, what he will do is he'll give him a gold and say that, look, this is just for the hospitality and the bed and board.
From Cal's pocket.
Yeah, Gemini's. I picked his pocket last night while he was sleeping.
Oh, Gemini's.
He looks mighty kind, but it's too much. Hospitality is free, and I wouldn't be against being compensated for some of the food. I feel insulted for taking payment for allowing you to sleep.
Well, consider it for the food then, and the trouble of bringing magic into your house.
He looks. Thank you kindly. He grabs the coin and sticks it in his pocket. Cal, you weren't really there when the conversation about payment was being made, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's just going to make like a mental note of how much it was anyway, because he was thinking of paying it anyway.
Seeing how efficient things were made, and I am no leather expert on how this works, but there's also a big size difference in some of you. I'd say in general, about 3 furs for a medium person was used, and 2 furs for a smaller person.
So 2 for 10, so probably 14, because Tarek is probably bigger than medium.
Yeah, well, Tarek is he's like he's brawly and muscular, so maybe a little extra, yeah.
So 14 first?
Let's see. 3, 6, 9. Yeah. 14. 14 would be good. So 14 times 7 silver is
Um,
14 gold? No. I'm doing this wrong. 10.
100 and something silver.
128 silver.
120. So
Wait, 4 times 7.
it's 24. Of no, 28.
28. Yeah, 128.
And is it 100 silver into gold?
No, 10 silvers in gold.
10 silver to gold.
So
Right.
it's 12 gold and 8 silver.
12
For
gold,
just the
8 silver.
first.
Exactly.
Come here.
Sorry, Gemini from Beyond the Grave is doing Maz. 14 times 7 is 98, apparently.
There you go.
Huh?
I don't know, he's just put in the chat 14
Is he watching
times
the
7.
stream? Why can't he join?
I know, jeez.
How
How
am I
dare
doing
you
this wrong?
be able to watch something like that? So is it 14?
14
four-
times
Yeah, because 10
Yes.
times 7 is 70.
70, but I
plus
was counting 10.
28 is
98. Yeah.
Sorry, I come must because I was doing 10 times 77, so that's 10.
Okay. So it's
That's
9
literally
gold.
how my mine went.
So it's 9 gold, 8 silver. Yeah.
98. Yeah, Cal will take a note of that, and then probably just round it up to 9 gold.
But Ellie is
That's-
basically
it's already 9 gold, 8 silver.
Yeah.
Or
so
no,
it'd be 10 gold.
10 gold, sorry. 10. Round it up, I meant
Oh,
that.
I'll
90
round it up to 9 gold.
Yeah,
You're
round
such
it
a
up
nice
to
guy.
9 gold.
You can tell you worked at a carnival, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. So, who pays him?
well, Ellie's gonna put some gold to the coin.
Uh,
No, what? Gold to the pile.
Well,
Yes.
I do. Well, I mean, Wheeler could give him a platinum, and then you could pay him.
Ellie
Nope.
will add 4 gold to that. And like, how much does craft? She'll add 5 gold to the platinum thing, and
So that's 15 gold.
yeah, because it's for the first, but he also made them really, really quickly. And she's thinking if that's too low.
Wheeler's holding the platinum, so thinking, no, I could give him this, and then you could pay me what your share.
No,
I'm not fucking donating this. He's
No,
like, sure, hold the platinum. Like,
No, you're
How
not
are you guys,
donating.
by the way, discussing this at
No.
the dinner?
No,
Like,
she
Yeah.
would not do
paying
it
him
while
a
eating.
platinum. No, I'm paying him this.
Ellie would do it after eating, though. Like, she did some math before, like counting her coins, and she would put it away while eating. So she would, unless someone else starts before they're done eating, she will wait till they're done eating.
yeah, that's fair. To be fair, as soon as Wheeler starts eating, that's what he's doing until he's done.
So you guys are done eating.
Yeah.
What do you do then? How much do you pay him? What do you do?
Cal
Ellie
takes
is...
out 2 gold and places it on the table.
So Ellie's just confirming. You said it was 7 silvers for each of the fur, right?
Yeah.
How many furs did you use?
14.
14. And then she's gonna start doing math from.
That's 180.
Yeah, it's 100. No, it's not 128. Wait.
4,300.
That's when Cal goes, he's around about 10 gold.
Ah, right. And that was for the furs, but you also made them, and you made them really, really quick. How much is made really quick worth?
It says, give me 13 gold and it's good.
Cal will take out another gold and put it on the table. So he's donated 3.
Yeah.
Wheeler will put in his share, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Just to not confusing.
And Ellie will add probably an extra gold because Wheeler probably used slightly too much food. Because he doesn't know how to cook small.
He tried. I don't know how successful he was. I'll leave that down to the TM, but he tried.
All right.
Yeah.
As he takes the coin, looks and counts it out, and holds up the one extra gold coin. Says, "You gave me one too much." He hands it back to you.
Did Wheeler compensate you for the food properly?
You already gave me a gold coin. That's fine.
Did Wheeler hear that?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but she looks like she had forgotten it. She probably did.
Wheeler will be like, "No, that coin wasn't for the food." No, wait, no, was it?
It was.
I suppose it was. Yeah, the hospitality.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. Sorry, scratch that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
It's very appreciated.
I'll show you to your furs. I made one for your. I'm sorry, Gemini, was it? For Gemini as well. One of you might have to carry it. Kind of shows you each to your fur, and it's definitely you, Cal, can tell, but all of you are like, wow, that's well made, and that's a lot more comfortable in this cold weather than the clothing that you're wearing right now.
This is amazing. Thank you.
He kind of looks at you, Tarak, and says, I noticed you didn't really have a lot on already when you were coming here. I didn't want you to get too hot. There's some padding you can take out if you want to.
Thanks, brother.
Nods.
This is really good.
Glad you appreciate it.
You know what? I'm gonna recommend Algren's furs to people I meet if they're looking for furs.
Thank you kindly. There is one small thing I need to ask.
Yeah?
Your friend, he hung on to my my hot water bottle. Is
you know what? I'll check his stuff because his stuff is still here.
All right.
And she's gonna run upstairs to check his stuff.
You check his stuff.
And where he was sleeping and everything.
His sleeping bag's there. Is probably his backpack of sorts of whatever he's wearing. But you do not see the hot water bottle.
Oh.
He was clamping onto that thing like dear life.
Oh dear. Does he have a money pouch sitting?
Yeah, is his money sitting there? Just fucking leave that.
No, it's probably still.
Yeah, it's probably sewed. It's like
yeah.
sewn to his body. Yeah. Hides him in his ass.
Ellie's gonna like look through everything one more time just to be sure. And then she's gonna calm down and look really, really thoughtful.
All right.
Did just Wheeler clock this expression?
Probably.
Really clocks this expression. This is, how do I tell him the bad news without upsetting him?
Yeah. Wheeler's just
without lying. That's her face.
He's gonna be like, oh shit. Wheeler's gonna be like, do we wait here until Gemini comes back?
Okay, so it was not in his stuff, which I gonna assume he was holding onto it really close to his body because the sleeping bag was still there, which means that he should still have it on his person, which means it will come back when he comes back. I know you really treasured it because you said so. And do you want us to wait around until he pops back, or can we no? Can we ensure you somehow that we will bring it back if we don't wait around? That we'll bring it back to you?
Frowns. How long does it take for your friend to get back?
If it's like last time, he should be back by evening or late afternoon. If it's like it was for one of us, it might be a bit longer than that.
In the middle of the conversation, Tarak will just slam his hand on the table and make a noise, and he'll say,
"There's no way I'm gonna have him return all mangled up in the middle of the blizzard outside."
Is it gonna be a blizzard?
We
just looks at Big Guys. Like, how did you know this?
Very calm weather, just a lot of snow.
It's like Narnia when the ice is melting. It's like practically spring. You're like, what?
You didn't tell me you know divination. Do you know divination?
Snow, blizzard, what's the difference?
One's on the ground and one comes from the sky. So sky,
Yes.
ground, sky.
Now, as you guys kind of look out, there is a ton of snow out there, and it's slightly snowing as you as you kind of look out on it. But it's definitely not a blizzard. It's just there's a lot of snow here, and there's snow falling.
Probably best to wait on him then.
Well,
or we could. I mean, he might not come back mangled. The only person who was injured last time was you, Tara. So we could potentially go and maybe even if Odgrin is okay with it, you know where the temple is. You could come with us, sort of keep us in the right direction. And whenever Gemini comes back, we can give you the water bottle and split ways.
Let's do that.
Appreciate it, brother.
He starts to put on his furs and stuff. Let's
get
going.
Ellie will run back up and pack Gemini stuff.
So this is where we're halfway to the temple and Gemini pops back at the bed. Oh dear. All his shit.
Everybody, yeah.
Where did everybody go?
How cruel can you get?
Oh. That's not canon. Please do not make that canon.
Sorry,
Tarak
Gemini.
is also readying all his stuff, just getting the medic roll just back on a roll and on his belt, everything. Everything ready.
All right, so you all put on your furs and stuff, and add a considerable weight and especially mass to yourself as you guys then finally step out of the hut. And
by the way, did does Odgrin use like snowshoes or anything like that to help his movement?
He does, yeah.
Okay. Does he happen to have extra?
Oh dear.
That's a good point. He probably
I should have shut my mouth.
He probably will have made extra for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Ah, I was gonna ask, is Ellie actually heavy enough to properly fall down? Because she's smaller. It will also go for Wheeler, I assume, but.
No, yeah, you guys would still sink in the snow. Especially Wheeler, he's like fat.
the amount of food that Wheeler eats. He's short, but he's massy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
at least that's why.
So you guys leave the hut and start moving, and Ogren kind of starts being your guide. He kind of leads you through the snow, and Cal, you're probably the first to actually notice this.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys move deeper into the forest, you start to notice that the trees look more imposing. more ancient than the trees that you usually see in this land. Um, they look, yeah, like they've been here for a long time, and they're carrying the snow and they're covered in it, but they still there's few broken trees and broken branches here as you kind of move through the forest. And all of you can tell that Ogrin is very accustomed to moving here. Um, he never kind of stops and kind of looks around in which direction he has to go. He just kind of moves and stuff, and now and then he says like, "Be careful, you can't really tell, but there's a quite a bit of an incline over there, so stay to the left."
Ellie's basically gonna go by the. If Otgrin isn't worried, I'm not gonna be worried, and she's gonna have Fluffles like in her first, and just have his head stick out and like carry him close by, and be like point out cool stuff, like look at that, don't chase that bird,
All right.
and just show him the world.
Cal will be sort of behind him and taking in everything he's throwing at him because it's not his sort of terrain, but he wants to learn about it.
Yeah. So yeah, so you kind of move around, and yeah, you're almost at a point where you would not be surprised if Otgrin has some ranger training himself. He moves around with a lot of ease, and you guys definitely make a way better time traveling with him than you would by yourself.
Yay!
So as you guys kind of move onward, you now and then kind of look at the sky and the sun and stuff, Cal, to make sure that you're still heading in the direction that you also remembered. And this is indeed the case. And as you kind of move onwards, you start to notice that in the distance, you start to see mountains. And that is still considerable distance away. So you travel for about a day. It slowly starts to become evening. Does
And
any
still
of you
no
do
Gemini.
anything during the day? Yeah, no, still no Gemini.
No. Ellie
While
would not do much except like the walking. She's busy telling Fluffles about everything to see and cool stuff, and be like, "No, you may not hop out and play because we're gonna lose you in the snow." And basically, also probably feeds him a bit as they walk as well because it keeps him interested in staying close.
Exactly.
Willer will probably talk to Ogrim. Nothing heavy, just general, long have you lived here? Have you always done furs? What's your star sign? Like just general.
Okay.
Just general chit chat to him.
How much gold you're carrying? Where are you carrying
much
it?
Yeah. So in this fur, how would one pickpocket somebody wearing this amount of fur? Yeah.
Carefully.
All right.
He'll be very focused, I suppose. He's kind of concerned that it's been taking this long, and the longer it takes, the more convinced he is that it's down to the length of time you spend away that the more dangerous it becomes. So that he's more and more like squeezing just his hands into fists and biting his teeth and even wondering if Gemini will return with something with him that he'll need to be defended from or something. It's like yeah, his mind is going to worst case scenarios.
Mhm.
Uh, Ellie, if she notices this, she's gonna tell Tarek at times, don't worry, he'll be fine. He's probably cursing off the ground again.
You suck, tiny noodles.
Yeah, Tarak will like hear it every time
Yeah.
he's like I know, brother. And but after a little while,
Yeah.
he'll go back to that state.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you travel for an entire day, Oswin kind of leads you to sort of a small cave, and he makes a fire in at the entrance, and he first checks if there's nothing in there, but it's free, and he says, "We'll spend the night here, and we'll get to the monastery probably tomorrow."
Ah, cool. I need to make a picture of this. And she's gonna start sketching out the place in her little book so she can show Gemini, because she's pretty sure that he will want to make a patch out of it. Even if he
Right.
wasn't there, because he was theoretically there in the gem.
He's there. She's very red tinted.
Yeah. But she
It's
will
like
make
rose-tinted
a
glasses.
sketch of it and some of the furs, and she might even end up sketching Odwin. It's terrible. She sucks at portraits, but
Fair enough.
it's very like technical and not very
to
lifelike.
scale on like graph paper and stuff. Wheeler will start, like, once we've got a fire lit, he'll start preparing food, and he'll turn to Cal. I was about to say Vern, Cal and Odgrin, and be like, what are the odds of catching some meat out here?
Not bad, I suppose. It's slowly becoming darker.
I would leave it up to Ogrin. It's his sort of territory. He knows what's going on.
I could go out and hunt. I brought some rations, but
Do you need any help?
you're okay with leaving your friends here for a while?
Yeah, sure. 2 hunters are better than one.
I'll kind of listen to them talk about going out on a hunt and wondering about these parts, these kinds of wildernesses. Tarak will ask, what sort of beasts roam in these parts?
Oh, that's a broad question there.
So while Wheeler's cooking, or while he's preparing things, if he heard that, he'd be like, well, at the minute you've got halflings, a gnome, half orc, elf, and a dwarf.
What do you mean, predators?
Yeah.
Well, we have some bears, but they're, well, let's just say if you see a bear right now, there's something strange going on. It should be hibernating. And but there are some wolves, but they usually don't get close to the fire.
Do you don't like fire?
Hungry. No, they don't like
Then
fire.
we're fine. I got fire.
He kind of looks at the relative large campfire at the entrance of the cave. Yeah.
I mean,
And
Tarak
You
will
don't say.
when the conversation kind of starts to turn that way, Tarak will kind of squint his eyes and go, "Bears are doing what?"
hibernate.
sleeping.
It's a fancy way for saying that they're sleeping through the night.
Okay, listen to that. I will tell you everything about it. And she's gonna tell him a children's story about sleeping bears. That basically
Tarak
ends
will-
up with "Don't wake the bear."
If Ellie starts to kind of tell you this story, Audrey doesn't see it polite for him to interrupt to continue listing the amount of animals you have. So he kind of looks at Cal and kind of looks at Tarak and goes like, kind of moves at Cal like, should we get going?
Yeah, let's carry on. I'll follow your lead.
But
yeah, sorry.
If well, I'll leave it up to you if Ellie wants to make an insight check, or if she's good enough with it to where there's no need for it. But this talk about bears, it kind of has something. Does something.
Roll your insight, Ellie.
Oh yeah, she would definitely need an insight because she's mid-story.
Sorry, can Wheeler get in on that?
I don't know. You're pretty busy cooking.
15.
Okay.
15.
Yeah. It's pretty high.
I'll leave it up to Tarak what he wants to say about that.
There's well, when bears get mentioned, there's a clear kind of stop it, like a kind of a stopping out of fright, and then this kind of when the whole hibernation thing is talked about, there's certain level of confusion, and when you start to explain it, there's kind of added confusion where it's like it feels like he has like he sees bears as nothing but like demon-like killing machines, and all these kind of things are, well, I don't know if the term is right, but humanizing, making the bear seem more sympathetic, kind of a critter, no more ferocious than any other, and it's kind of like it's kind of having an effect on Tarak, where he's kind of questioning certain things about what he thinks he knows about the world, and yeah, he there's fear and confusion in him quite a bit, but he's listening intently and talk about bears.
Well, once she's done telling his story, she's basically gonna go, is that now? Did you not notice?
No, I've never been to this part of the world. I've only seen bears in. Was Nazir in South?
Yeah.
In South.
Oh, how did you see them there?
It's pits.
Pits? Like fighting pits? Or roasting pits?
Just while Wheeler's like cooking away, he's like, "No, bear, it's not tender enough." Karen.
He'll just kind of. It's up to interpretation.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, brother.
Have you fought the bear?
This is where we find out he is the bear.
He will get incredibly like bothered, or incredibly like what's the term? Well, he'll get very like uncomfortable at the point of that question, and he'll just he doesn't, he looks clearly like he doesn't know what to answer to it to kind of avoid the subject, and he'll just kind of stand up and start to kind of walk around looking for things to pretend to need to do rather than continue on talking.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay, brother.
No, it's not. You're sad now.
And he walks out.
So, did he walk out of the cave?
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
Will
don't go far.
Wheeler will sort of shout after him like, "Practice your mage hand. We'll be working on it after dinner." And he'll keep.
Ellie's just gonna move to the edge of the cave so she can keep an eye on Tarek so he doesn't disappear too far. Because if he disappears too far, that's bad. Because it's a forest and he's obviously not used to forests.
He'll basically go to like not like outside of your range of sight, but he'll basically just go to lean his arm on the side of a tree and just kind of take a breather and just kind of blankly kind of stare into nothing. He's clearly mentally kind of all of a sudden like it's like he's drained
Yeah.
Lights are on, but nobody's home.
Yeah.
Ellie is gonna just make sure she can see him and move closer so she can talk to Wheeler, and she's gonna go. Yeah, Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
I think I scared Tarek.
Hold on here. Can you carry on prepping these? I'll go have a chat.
Yes, start right.
Yeah, just start counterclockwise. Add a bit of clockwise, 2 turns, bit of this. Counterclockwise, 3 more times. Add a bit of that, and then you're fine. Leave it in the simmer.
Right.
Okay, bye.
Right. So just stir and wait for him to fix it.
Basically, he
Yeah.
expects nothing less. Wheeler will dander out sort of towards Tara. Does he notice like how checked out he is, or?
Oh yeah, you would have to make a check not to notice it.
Cool. All right, so would Wheeler know what to do? This, I mean, I had. Yeah, you what? We'll go for it. Wheeler will go over to him and sort of like go over to him like in a clear path, so like it's obvious that Wheeler is coming over to him, and as he's going, he'll gather up like a snowball, and he'll just go over to him like, right, come on, you're not slacking off that easy. Let's practice this again. You were getting really close. Come on, and he'll try and talk him onto something else and get him focusing on doing something that's obviously not what all the shit that is obviously going through his mind, and try and get him focusing on doing mage hand or something of that nature.
All right. I'm sure it'll work pretty well, because that's like he was looking for distractions until he felt like he couldn't find any, and you're offering one. So
yeah, so that's his thing. It is to get his mind off whatever it was. It was obviously troubling him that he didn't want to talk about. So just be like, yeah, get a snowball, and he'll be like, right, now use your mage hand and knock it out of my hand or grab it or whatever, and we'll start practicing mage hand again.
Yeah.
All right. Roll your charisma, Tara. No problem.
Oh, that's all right. 10.
10.
I've spent all my 20s in my previous session.
I guess so. Yeah. No, it's not making the advancements that you would have wanted but practice makes perfect.
Since I've been so frustrated, since I've gone on tirades on demons and all this, maybe if I keep failing at the mage hand, can I insult the snowball hard enough to break it? because that's one of the spells I'd be looking to pick.
So I'm going to be teaching you Mage Hand, and you're going to learn Vicious Mockery.
Roll your charisma again.
now we're looking for
That's
that 20.
20.
7, so only 9. So,
Okay. Yeah. No, sorry, man.
too bad.
Wheeler is so. I'm assuming that whenever he's doing the Mage Hand, he only rolled or he got a 10 there. I'm assuming he's still done something like maybe that the hand appeared but couldn't move anything or something like that. He did have some.
Yeah, there is you see almost like in Hollow Man, you see like these these shapes of a hand slightly appear, but it can't seem to get into a proper solid state.
Wheeler is going to try and, whether you want this to be performance or persuasion, but he's going to try and big that up, that him just making that is amazing. He's going to be like whenever he does it and he sees that he's sort of struggling and maybe not getting so far, whenever he sees that sort of shape form, he's like, did you see that? Did you see that? Whenever I was at your station, I was trying to learn this. It took me months to get to that. I couldn't get that for fucking ages. Look, you've done it. You're so close. You're so amazingly close. We'll have the sort of tap and say, we'll have this cracked out before we even get to the fucking temple. You're gonna be amazing at this. You're gonna surpass me. You're gonna be hitting things and slapping them better than Gemini. And he'll really try and big it up. That this is really good progress.
All right. Let me check. Persuasion or what would you use for this? Would you?
Well, I know which one I would have a preference for, which one I got more points in. But
this is also one of those things where Tarak is so what's the term? He would like to have this sort of encouragement, but there's always the chance of failing miserably. So
I mean, I would argue persuasion, because I'm trying to. It's not. I'm trying to persuade him that this is a really.
You
big
can
deal.
either roll. You can either roll deception. I would even allow you to roll intimidation, performance, or persuasion.
Okay. Well, deception and persuasion are both the same, so I'll go with persuading. I'm not really kind of trying to deceive him. I mean, he is making progress. I'm just sort of exaggerating it a bit.
Yeah.
So I'll go with persuasion. So. Thank fuck for that. That is a dirty 25.
There you go.
Glad somebody's getting good rolls tonight.
To be fair, the roll was only a 15, but my persuasion is lit.
There you go. Well, Tarak, I'll leave that up to you what you want to do with it, but you can tell how much Wheeler believes in the fact that you are gonna destroy this mage hand.
Yeah. It feels good. It doesn't feel like an intentional distraction or intentional almost like pandering, belittling kind of way where like he's somebody who needs to be told he is good at something or something. He'll completely be sucked into it, and he's just he's legitimately a lot happier than he was a moment ago.
There you go. Good to have a halfling in the group.
Amazing.
Get the steel monkey.
I don't know how long that goes on for. I don't know whether the hunters would be back by that stage, but whenever they're done, they'll say, "I'll say to Tarak, come on, let's go get some grub."
Do you want to discuss anything with Otgrin, Cal, or do you just go out hunting together?
Not while we're out hunting. Out hunting, it'll be radio silence. But on the way back, when we've caught what we've needed, I'll be. You'll hear like distant conversations of Cal talking to Odgrin, and it'll be. He'll ask him stuff about bears and stuff like that. He says, "You ever hunted a few bears yourself?"
Oh, yeah, they make really good pelts.
Yeah, heavy stuff, aren't they? Really
Very
have
heavy.
to plan ahead for those. But
Those are not impulsive hunts.
no. Your best, you're usually fighting them in their own territory, which is usually a bad thing. But yeah, take a look at this, and he sort of like rolls his sleeve up a wee bit for where he's put the heavy furs and stuff on, and he shows him the 4 mighty big gashes, and he goes, "There's one. There's the last one I took out. Took a piece of me with him."
Hmm.
The humans round there give him a name. He was that big. We called him all One Eye. Was looked like his eye was scratched out by some wolves or something.
Really? How big was he?
He sort of like pulls the cloak forward and shows him the claw, and he goes, it sort of matches the size of these massive gashes, and he goes, "Pretty big one." So he was.
Yeah, I'll see.
Took a
Oh.
good few of us to take him down. He was paying a lot of grief to a human village, and we went out to find out what was going on. A few wolves had moved in and were attacking the townsfolk, so we checked out what was going on, and we found this big thing in the cave.
Yeah, some can get pretty big and be a burden on the surroundings. Getting too much food, and wolves will go looking somewhere else.
I know it was a terrible fight, but I suppose we gain a bit of glory and stuff out of what we do.
Well, I know of a couple of bears resting in this area, but as good as their pelts are, you don't want to kill all of them. They need to reproduce again and create new bears.
Yeah.
Might be good to kill them for 1 year, but then you're without for the next.
Yeah, that's true. Suppose if they're not there, they can't hunt the wolves and keep the other predators in check. So
bears don't hunt wolves that often, but they do sometimes hunt the same thing. That could be a problem.
Yeah, you're probably a bit like myself. You look pretty good in the huntsman side of things. You only kill for food or necessity.
Well, I'd be lying if I said that's the only thing I kill for. I make a small profit.
Well, that too. We have to make a living to live, don't we?
Sure.
Yeah, well, sure. We're on the same side of the coin.
I guess that we are.
So what do we catch?
You catch, I'm losing the word for it. You have deers, but there's also another type of...
Like an
deer.
elk?
No, it's not. I don't think it's... An elk is, in my opinion, a really big one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super big. It's more like fast on its legs.
Gazelle?
No, that's Savari, so it is.
No.
What are they called in English?
A stag?
They sound like dogs, but they bark.
Oh.
A badger? No, what?
No. It's like a deer, but they make a barking sound.
They make a barking sound?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Hold on.
It's not Miss are big and strong.
Where's my Google Translate?
Yeah.
In Dutch, it's called a ree.
It's called a what, sir?
A ree.
Oh, but that's a deer in English as well, right?
Is it also in...
A reindeer?
No, it's not a reindeer.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that stags.
Oh, it's called... It translates in English as a roe deer.
Yeah.
As in ROE and then deer.
Oh, yeah.
Or a heart, maybe?
Heart?
Yeah, a heart.
Anyway, a deer type of creature.
Yeah.
You catch it. So there's enough meat on it for all of you. Well, except for
For everybody except Wheeler.
Wait, what?
There's enough meat on it for everybody except Wheeler.
Oh, okay, right, sorry, yeah.
So you bring it back and you prepare the food and stuff, and you have dinner together, and you can probably go and get some rest.
This is the point where Cal points out that not all the time you have a table.
Yes, but the point is we're all eating together in a eating area.
Yep. All right, and we'll pick it up next week.
Yeah.
Where
like a
Gemini
plan.
face plants into the fire, just
Yeah.
complaining about the wine being subpar.
Again.
Well, let's hope Gemini returns next week.
Yeah.
And
Let's hope so.
I hope he feels better soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming he will.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for watching. And if you're new to the stream, follow us and give us a like. Or just spread the word. I mean, spreading the word is better than spreading certain other things in these times. Anyway, see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Huh?
Bye.